It is time for The Law and You, brought to you by Gig and Jankulo. Joining us now is Mike Gig and Chris Jankulo from over at the firm. Good to see you guys again.
Yes, thanks.
Yeah, of course. Chris, what kind of law do you guys focus on?
Well, we do a lot. I do personal injury, workers' compensation, Social Security, disability, and Mike does our wills, trust, estates, and real estate.
Alrighty, so viewers can submit anonymous questions to the show, and this is from a viewer, and this one's for Mike. It goes, my husband and I had his family home signed over to us after his father died, and we paid a loan off on the house. His mother stayed in this home, and we paid taxes and upkeep on the house. And then his mother died 26 years later. When we sold the house, they charged us inheritance tax. Was that considered inheritance, Mike?
So this is an interesting question. This is one I'd want to know some more details. I assume when they're saying that he signed it over at his death, I'm not sure if he signed it over prior to him passing. So if he had, obviously if they had inherited it from her father, there'd be inheritance tax on that, coming from the father to the child. Now what could have happened here is, there's a thing in the law called a life estate, okay? So typically what you would see is, you might see it in the deed itself, where it says, you know, situation might be a parent signs their house over to a child. But in the deed itself, it says that the parent has the right to live there till they die, okay? That's called a life estate, okay? So they sign the title over, but they have the right to live there until they pass away. Well, when that person passes away, if you put that in the deed, when that person passes away, that child, even though they've been on the deed, they could be on the deed for 5, 10 years. When that parent dies, there's inheritance tax, because the parent, that's still considered an interest in the property by being able to live there. Where it gets kind of a sticky situation is if the deed itself doesn't say that, the mother has the right to live there. There is, under the law, it can be implied that they had a life estate, okay? That could be, all right, there's a deed where they transfer the property to the child, live there for the next 10 years. When they died, their death certificate says that their residence was that house. So it could be assumed through the Department of Revenue that, hey, okay, they signed this deed over, but why is their residence still considered that property at the time they died? That could be the case here. I don't know. I don't know how the deeds were prepared, but it could be one of these life estate situations where some people think if they just simply sign it over to their kids, if they retain a life estate like that, it could be subject to inheritance tax.
Yeah, unfortunately in this situation, they can't go back in time, but this seems like a scenario where you really need to cover all your bases here.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it used to be that people would just put a life estate like that in the deed itself. People have kind of gone away from that because it is subject to inheritance tax. I don't believe many years ago that it was, and that's why a lot of deeds from maybe 40, 50 years ago, you would see that the parent retains that interest to stay there till they die. You started to see less and less of that because now it is subject to inheritance tax. So just signing the deed over but keeping that in there, it really does nothing inheritance tax-wise. So it's something, somebody like this or somebody in this similar situation should look into and definitely talk to an attorney about.
Right, definitely. Well, speaking of that, Chris, if people need your help, how can they reach out to you guys?
Yes, please give us a call at 814-946-1606 or go to our website at gig-law.com.
Excellent. Thank you, guys. And if you want to submit your legal question, they can answer it here on the show. Just send an email to thelawandyu@wtajtv.com.